An open letter to the Rudest matron of honor I personally encountered at a family wedding. Dear bride's matron of honor, I'm sorry if our family home didn't meet your expectations of what a wedding venue should be. You see, this wasn't a venue. It was the house where my parents still live. My cousins and I celebrated milestones, where my kids grew up, where my brother still comes on Sundays to do his laundry and have a home-cooked meal, where my grandkids now play, and where 4 generations gather for holidays, laughter and loss for over 3 decades. It's where we watched the sunset behind a 40-foot tall, 250-foot wide cedar tree line through every season of life. The couple chose this place because it's sacred to the groom, our cousin, not because it came with a ballroom package and concierge. I'm sorry if the decoration looked homemade. That's because they were. Our cousins burned their fingers on hot glue guns, stained their shirts with paint, bent over tables, and stood on ladders until their backs ached. All because they loved the couple. Personally, I cannot imagine a nicer venue than a place that is so meaningful to you. A place where you potentially grew up. It's very interesting because it doesn't look like that the problem is the bride or the mother-in-law, as it usually is. But I hope we're gonna figure out more about what's going on here. The porch you stood on, repainted by family to match the wedding's colors. That is so nice, the fact that they even thought about it. It means so much. The garden you dismissed, hand-weeded and watered daily by my 70-year-old mother. What is this person's problem? Everything sounds so amazing here. The acre of land you stood upon, mowed faithfully every 2 weeks by my nearly 80-year-old father. And an extra time just for the wedding. The groom has an amazing family. I'm sorry if the food wasn't plated like a banquet. That's because it was cooked in our kitchens, seasoned with family recipes, and served with care. I'm sorry if the air conditioning struggled, or if the bathrooms were too few, or if the mosquitoes did not respect your presence. This is Texas in September. Even the dragonflies refuse to be managed. We stretched the home built for 5 to host 100. And did so gladly. And yes, the DJ played a few boleros and cumbias despite your protests. I don't know who this person thinks she is, but she doesn't have the right to protest about anything. It's not her wedding. He wasn't hired by you, nor was he meant to satisfy your Spotify preferences. This was a family celebration, and in our culture, music is not background noise. It is memory and inheritance. When you wrinkled your nose at it, you weren't critiquing a playlist. You were dismissing an entire lineage of joy. Can we stop normalizing feeling so comfortable on other people's events? It's not about you. Shut up and be happy that you were invited. It did not go unnoticed that you arrived just in time for the bachelorette party, planned and paid for by the mother of the groom, my cousin, but only saw the venue for the first time the day before the wedding, when your contribution was not gratitude or help, but critique. So, when you argued with me about the location of the sun for the ceremony and photos, you might have done well to take a seat, because I've been watching that light change in this yard for a lifetime of evenings, not 20 minutes. What you may not understand is that everything you found wanting was done freely, out of love, and with nothing asked in return. We didn't need your Yelp-style review, your grumbling about the heat, your disdain for the decor, or your endless complaints about the sun. Shut up about the sun. Yeah, shut the hell up about the sun. It's not your day. What we did need when we opened our doors and our hearts was a little grace, a little gratitude, a little respect for the family who gave all they had so the bride you supposedly stood for clout feel cherished and welcomed, and she did. Our family isn't rich in money, but we are abundant in loyalty, sacrifice, and love. In my book, your family is very rich, because those are all the things that matter. We welcome newcomers with open arms, but when someone sits in my mother's chair, not your mother's chair, beneath the trees my father still mows under each week, and treats it all as though it isn't good enough, we notice. And trust me, we don't forget. With compassion and conviction, your friends' new family and in-laws. P.S. Oh, and thank you kindly for walking off with every single strip of fashion tape I brought to be shared by the bridal party. Did you really need all 100 strips? Is that what it took to hold your audacity in place all evening? This story is so infuriating, but the writing? The writing is chef's kiss. I think I easily could read whole books that OP writes. They are very talented because I felt like I was there the whole time I was reading. Unfortunately, these Karens are all around everywhere. I'm glad that at least the bride and the groom enjoyed their day because that's all that matters. I've been to a handful of backyard weddings and plenty of glamorous venue weddings. The backyard weddings were also intimate and joyful. The other fancy ones were great too, but a family coming together to celebrate a couple starting their life together is very special. Probably that woman was just very jealous of the bride because she had a very special day. This sounds like a dream wedding, honestly. I'm sorry this heinous person dampened the experience. I'm ready to ride at dawn for you and your family. You guys sound amazing. Exactly. Even to repaint the porch to fit the wedding's colors, you guys went really above and beyond. That last sentence, fire. I'm so sorry you had to experience this. From someone who treasures the occasional experiences with families who generously open their doors to me. You are so lucky to be part of this, fam. You guys are awesome and very generous. The bride is very lucky to marry into this family. We're gonna move on to the next wedding. I never want to be a bridesmaid again. Buckle in, it's a long story full of chaos and cringe. Just how I love them. The first red flag was that the bride asked me to be her bridesmaid via text. Hey girl, I just literally need one more bridesmaid and I was wondering if you could be one. This is not a red flag, this is cringe. I cannot wait to see more. I've seen the bride maybe 10 times in my life. I know her through my husband, who is close with the groom. The bride always came off as young and naive. She's a 25-year-old wannabe influencer who has never had a job, but nice. I thought maybe it could be fun. I've since learned to have more respect for my own time and energy. The groom is in his 30s and very extroverted with a lot of real friendships. He had 12 groomsmen, including my husband. The bride felt obligated to match, so she started asking people who she didn't know very well. One of the bridesmaids told her, "Nice to meet you," during the wedding weekend. Girl, no. She started a group chat with all bridesmaids 6 months out. Everything was in the chat. There was never an email or centralized document with important info. Everything, bridesmaids dress info, rehearsal times, choreography for 2 dances we were required to learn. It came all scattered in texts. At some point in the group chat, she openly roasted someone for buying a bridesmaid dress that was giving funeral. She found hair/makeup artists for girls who wanted to pay for it, but didn't tell us until a week out that those services would start at 6:30 a.m. There was no schedule. I guess she was expected us to arrive at 6:30 a.m. and wait our turn. Why would you do that? Especially if there was 12 bridesmaids. If you're the last one, it will take literally ages to get your turn. The matron of honor had an idea to get her bridal gifts from all of us. It was $200+ worth of gifts that we agreed on. I purchased them thinking I'd get paid back by the others. On the top of this, my husband, the generous golden retriever, gifted the bride over $1,000 to help the bridesmaids with their dresses since most of the ladies were young and he didn't want the bride to worry about not being able to have her dream wedding. Sure, your husband is awesome, but I hope you guys had a conversation before he spent $1,000. 2 weeks out from the wedding, and the bride sent us bridesmaids a 5-paragraph text about how she didn't feel appreciated. I guess a bridesmaid texted her something rude. She said we should feel grateful and honored that we get to be a bridesmaid. She said she's not asking for much. Some brides make their bridesmaids lose weight and go on diets. We should applaud that you didn't reach the monster level yet, or... I felt like a slap in the face, but I tried to remember that her text probably wasn't directed at me. The evening before the wedding, the couple held a casual welcome event. The groom was there. She herself skipped the event and went to watch a show later with the groom at 9 p.m. Yes, the night before the wedding. The wedding was a disaster. Photos were to start at 1 p.m. I did my own hair and makeup, so I arrived at 12:45 p.m. super stressed about running tight. I walk into the bridal suite. Half the ladies don't have their hair or makeup done, including the bride. And this is the reason why you need schedules. Everyone just got there at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever the hell they wanted. Only one person got there at 6:30 a.m. The true friend who got roasted about having a funeral dress. No one seemed concerned. Well, if they are not concerned, you shouldn't be either. They are just sitting around waiting their turn for one single makeup artist. The bride is stressed and ignores us all. Eventually, everyone is done. At this point, the bride is understandably very stressed. Although we are 2 hours behind schedule, she prioritizes filming a TikTok video with all of us. Then the gifts we bought her are quickly pulled out of the gift bag, and she poses with them for the camera without actually looking at any of them. Okay, I can see the wannabe influencer part now. She later dumps all the gifts out so she can use the gift bag as a carrier for some of her stuff. By the way, aren't those gifts were meant for the couple? Was it only for her? It's now 30 minutes out from the ceremony start time. People are arriving. She's putting on her jewelry and feels like there are too many bridesmaids in the room, so she tells us to leave. She calls us back for the first look video, where she turns around in her dress and we all fawn over her. Once we got the shot, we leave the room again. The ceremony is 45 minutes late, which I guess at this point is fine. It's a somewhat religious ceremony and takes over 30 minutes. Our feet are killing us. She reads her vows off her phone. At this point, it's 5 p.m. and we are all starving. There were no snacks in the bridal suite. I'm super hungry and nibbling on cocktail hour food when I'm summoned for more content creation. I regret everything and feel like a photo prop. Later that evening, dinner was served at 9 p.m. after the first dance and speeches. It was a buffet line and it took an hour for everyone to get their food. I'm not even there and I feel so miserable. Ultimately, I just felt used. The sad part is, I don't think the bride had any fun at her wedding. Well, that's her problem, not yours. You shouldn't feel sad for her. She was the one who made those decisions, and she wanted to do those things. You just followed the directions you were given. All her smiles were strained. She had high expectations from TikTok, but none of the planning to back it up. The whole day was seeing someone shoot themselves repeatedly in the foot. But of course, she'll go on TikTok to her 500 followers and talk about it as if it was the best day of her life. If that's what matters to her, then it's a win. She will perpetuate the gap between social media versus reality, of which she herself was a victim. Half the girls, including the Maid of Honor, haven't paid me for their portion of the gift, and I don't think they will. I reminded them once and don't intend to chase it down. I believe in karma and shaming them on Reddit as a comeback. We all happy you chose that as a revenge. Added to clarify, there was such a huge gap before dinner party because the reception was at a different venue 35 minutes away from the ceremony venue. Jesus, who organized that? There were shuttles for the guests. No, it did not drop them off at the reception venue. It dropped them off 10 minutes away, obviously. Added to add, the 1K gift from my husband seems weird, but it's on brand for him. As I said, if you both agreed on it, it's fine. He is almost like a brother to the groom and saw it as a wedding gift. I guess the logic is that it supports their wedding vision without them having to stress about the bridesmaids affording the dresses. Obviously, the logic is flawed, but it was meant as a show of support. The bride at one point did acknowledge this in the group chat and people thanked us over text and in person. Also, considering I haven't been paid $20 by half the ladies, money might be a bigger factor than I thought. Well, you have an awesome story to tell, and if you ever will be a part of another wedding, you know now what to look out for, and how to support the bride best. I think as a friend and a bridesmaid, even though you're not even that close, you did everything what was asked from you. Maybe just try to remember when you had fun with your husband on this event. Wow, I'm really sorry. You would think as a content creator, she would have some knowledge of how to schedule things. But again, I guess it doesn't take that long to plan things out for TikTok. It definitely doesn't take that much time to prepare for TikTok. When I film from YouTube, it takes so much more preparing and planning. So yeah, when you film a TikTok, you just take your phone out and you just go with the flow. I have been a bridesmaid 5 times and probably have one more to go. Sometimes the emphasis is really on maid. In one instance, I was friends with the bride for 5 years and never spoke to her again after the wedding. That's really sad. I thought being a bridesmaid is when you're very close to the bride, so dropping you afterwards sounds very weird to me. My daughter was in a number of weddings. When it came to her own, she had seen enough and eloped. We later had a meal and a great meeting of the two families in my backyard. She has no regrets. This is also a very smart way to do it. No matter what it is, whatever the bride and groom wants goes. Sister-in-law hired her own makeup artist, got the same dress, and made content like she was the bride. Please, someone explain to me, where are all the audacity coming from? Throwaway account here. I've had a truly lovely weekend celebrating my wedding with our loved ones, but the months leading up to it were incredibly stressful. It all started late last year when I went wedding dress shopping. I found a gorgeous white and pink dress that I was so excited to wear for my Indian wedding ceremony. My sister-in-law was with me, and in the same store, in the same section, she picked out a red dress with a design very similar to mine. Since red is super bridal color in Indian culture, I asked my parents to speak with her and kindly ask her not to wear it during the ceremony. If red is a bridal color, she has no business to wear it. Not on the ceremony, not before, not after. My mom later told me she had spoken to my sister-in-law, who promised she wouldn't wear the dress. Months passed, and about a month before the wedding, I found out that my sister-in-law was in fact still planning to wear the red dress. I sent her a polite text message about it, but the conversation quickly escalated into a heated argument. Her main justification was that the pictures will appear better during the day versus a reception at night. Who cares what turned out better for you, Karen? It's not your wedding. It's not about you. Sit down and shut up. All of my wedding events were outdoors. Keep in mind, she told me to do a pastel color theme for the wedding and have everyone wear pastels, but she will wear this deep red, lol. The wedding weekend was a blur of incredible moments and some frustrating ones. My sister-in-law harassed my photo and video team, demanding they take more pictures of her. Oh my god, stop. Just stop. She was even pushed one of my bridesmaids when she was confronted about the dress. And despite me having booked a hair and makeup artist for her with the team I hired for my family, she skipped her appointment entirely. Thankfully, she never ended up wearing the red dress for the wedding ceremony, but she did wear it for the reception. How are her parents are not embarrassed? I have secondhand embarrassment reading this story, and I'm not even related to her. She left the reception early, and I left the following day very early too. Weeks later, I don't follow her on social media, but I saw on other people's feed that she flew a hair and makeup artist from out of the country to the US. She'd been making content on social media with posts and tags like, not about the couple, but the love. And she even posted pictures of herself and my brother with #bride and tagging all the bougie places she got her outfit/jewelry and my venue lol. Her makeup artist has also made posts on Instagram calling her a bride and all. Maybe the makeup artist didn't know who was the bride. She was flew-in from out of country and she was alone. So the makeup artist easily could have misunderstood the situation. After everything that happened, I'm just so relieved that my wedding weekend is over and I can finally move on. No, I don't talk to her or my brother. My brother didn't stand up to me at all when my sister-in-law called me saying she was wearing the red. Basically was saying I'm not reasonable and everything and that she is wearing it if I like it or not. It's sad that my sister-in-law's behavior put such a damper on what should have been a joyful time. But I'm trying to focus on all the beautiful memories with my husband, our families, and our friends. As you should, bestie. I'm not sure where we go from here, but for now, I'm just happy to be married and not deal with such narcissistic people. Congratulations on your wedding. Thank you for sharing the story about your wedding. But as you said, you should focus on the happy memories with your husband, friends, and family. And you know, you can always keep low contact with people who doesn't respect you on your day. Just keep that in mind. Seems this might justify telling your photo team to please omit her from the footage and photo package. If she was harassing them, they probably remember her. Ooh, this is an excellent idea. I love the pettiness. Man, that's some next level attention seeking BS from your sister-in-law. Chill out, sis. It ain't your big day. Props to you for handling it with grace though. Enjoy married life free from this drama. Your sister-in-law is unhinged. Congrats on your marriage and go live your best life without the drama. I wish you the best, OP, and a very happy life with your new husband. Don't take your kids to your wedding. Maybe it's a hot take, but I don't think kids should be allowed on weddings. In April, my sister, who's 23, got invited to her friend's wedding. Her friend is 24. Weird, right? I mean, not necessarily. Some people are getting married young. But the reason she's so young is because it was technically an arranged marriage. Long story. And for some reason, my sister decided to bring me and my other sister. Anyway, there was a bunch of people at this wedding. Kids, adults, old people, every age you can think of. Even the bride and groom have a 1-year-old daughter. But during the ceremony, I was minding my own business as one does, playing games on my phone when I feel a tap on my shoulder. I'm sorry, but why are you playing on your phone during a wedding ceremony? Isn't the point of being there to see them getting married? I just find this pretty weird and, to be honest, rude. And I look up to see some old hag holding the bride's baby. I get confused, wondering what she wants from me. Turns out this random lady who I don't know wants me to look after the baby. Like, what? Yeah, what? You cannot give the baby to someone you don't know? Are you mad? I don't even know these people and I'm being forced to take care of the bride's child. She puts the baby on the table in front of me and walks off like it's nothing, while I'm sitting here wondering if this is child abandonment. So, like any responsible and kind gentleman as myself would do, I put my phone aside and watched the baby. It's not like there was anything else you could do. But as I'm staring at this infant's huge forehead, some random kids who look to be 5 to 8 years old come up and try to take the baby. I tell them no, go play, but they don't listen. Now, I'm here with 3 kids and an infant by myself. I came to this wedding as a guest and now I'm a babysitter. I call my sister, tell her, and I quote, "Sis, come get your friend's daughter." I have too many things to deal with for someone who hardly knows the bride's name. Matter of fact, I don't even know the groom's name. I don't know these people and I got involved with this tomfoolery. Moral of the story, don't bring kids to weddings and definitely don't make a random 15-year-old who is minding his own business to take care of them. Oh, okay, so OP is 15 years old. Now it makes so much more sense. But to be fair, 15-year-old is also a kid on a wedding. The lesson isn't don't bring your kids to your wedding. It's ensure you have a proper childcare plan in place that doesn't involve passing babies around to random guests. But also, why were you playing games on your phone during the ceremony? Rude AF. That's a certified not my circus, not my monkeys moment. Yeah, but what he was supposed to do? The baby was passed down and the lady just left. This was all the wedding drama for today. Thank you for watching, please subscribe and see you in the next one.